Hartmann Program.
And greetings, my friends, patriots, lovers of democracy, truth, and justice, believers in peace, freedom, and the American way. Thom Hartmann here with you. And Congressman Mark Pocan is on the line with us, the newly elected co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Pocan.house.gov is his website, representing the 2nd District of Wisconsin. You can tweet him at Rep. Mark Pocan, and his website, of course, is pocan.house.gov. Congressman, welcome back.
Thanks, Tom. Glad to be here. And
let me just, toss out to our listeners and viewers that you'll be here for the hour taking calls. Although, there's this Comey hearing going on TV right now, and I'm not sure how many calls we're going to have. So we'll see. Maybe if I don't know, it's up to you. We can see if there's very few callers, or maybe. Well, I don't know, whatever. So what's your sense of what's going on today? Not just today, obviously in the hearings in Congress and every bar in this town, but, also broadly speaking.
Well, it's a fascinating day, right? I was just in an appropriations hearing earlier that started at 10, and I think there were 3 or 4 of us who were actually at the hearing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are keeping their eyes very closely glued to what's happening, and there have already been a lot of, I think, really interesting statements and, already interesting reactions. I mean, the one that just, to me, is off the charts dumb political malpractice is Paul Ryan trying to justify this in a press conference, said, well, the president's just new to this. He was unfamiliar with protocol, as if somehow, being incompetent allows you to try to, do all the actions that have been going on.
And that incompetence is not an argument that he can make. I mean, right. when Bill Clinton met with Loretta Lynch on her airplane in Los Angeles, as I recall, or Phoenix, or wherever it was somewhere in the Southwest, and Donald Trump on the campaign trail went off on that thing for weeks, talking about how inappropriate it was that a former president sit down and talk with the attorney general to try to influence an investigation, that was totally wrong. So anybody who's trying to say that he did not know what the protocol was, did not know what was appropriate, is full of it. I mean,
exactly. And for the Speaker of the House of Representatives to continue down this path, I've said before, and I've been doing town halls in his district because I'm very disappointed in our speaker that, last year he stood up to the president when he was running, and I think he did the right thing because he put country over party. And now, he's essentially, rolled over and lets the president rub his belly. He's been, taken over by some alien entity who is unwilling to have a spine and stand up to the president. Because of this, our country is in jeopardy. It's one thing that they've wasted the first 5 months of this year having a Republican majority in the House and the Senate and the White House, and all they've done is put out an awful health care bill that hopefully will never become law. But the fact that they continue to try to provide cover for a president that, when you start listening to this testimony, Comey is outright saying Trump lied about his conversations about, what the conversations they had with the FBI director. And interestingly today, Tom, I don't know, it's hard because I'm trying to catch all this in between the hearings, and I was watching this prior to the call, that, Vice President Pence knew about things about Mike Flynn before it's ever been noted before during the transition. So, the vice president now is being brought into this as well. So, it's a very interesting day in Washington, but this is the height of, when I was a kid, I vaguely remember the Nixon stuff. I just feel like this is the moment we're living through.
Yeah. I'm a bit older than you. I remember it quite well. And if you look back at the articles of impeachment against Nixon, he was not impeached for the Watergate burglary. The articles of impeachment were for the attempted cover-up of the Watergate burglary.
Yeah, and here the obstruction of justice, right?
Yeah, that's obstruction of justice, providing false statements. There were four articles, as I recall, and none of them specifically said directing a burglary.
Right, exactly.
And so it seems to me that, and again, Bill Clinton, they impeached him over lying about whether he had sex with Monica Lewinsky, and that's a simple lie about something that literally was not even a crime. Consenting adults in this country can have sex with each other. There's the old chastity laws or extramarital sex laws that were literally on the books until 15, 20 years ago in some states. They're gone. And so I just find it astonishing that anybody is trying to say, oh, he just doesn't know what he's doing.
No, absolutely. But for the speaker to say that in middle of the hearing in a press conference,
yeah.
Again, this is just the problem that we're having, right now here in Congress. Nothing is moving. I'm not sure where this appropriations process, that should be the 101 of government, is going to go. But, with President Trump's proposed budget that cuts everything from Meals on Wheels to Special Olympics to, 31% in the EPA, 28% in the State Department, et cetera. I mean, there's just so much going on, and we need people to step up and put their country over their party. And, to watch Paul Ryan do that today from their leadership tells me that, they're going to keep looking the other way and keep looking the other way on this stuff.
It's interesting to see how this is all being politicized, too. I've got two monitors in the room, in the studio here with me. As you've been here before, you've seen, and we're gonna have to get a third one, but so I've got CNN on one, and then the other one I toggle back and forth between Fox and MSNBC. The Fox Chiron, the text at the bottom of the screen, they're both showing the Comey hearings, which are starting to get redundant now.
Yeah.
The Fox one says, well, now it says President Trump asked me for loyalty, but for a long, long time it says Comey. President never asked me to lie or something like that. Something very nice. And whereas the CNN one says Comey, Trump administration lied about me and the FBI.
Yeah.
It's astonishing to me how our media is. Anyway.
It's interesting that I did see a poll this week, and 70% of the people don't trust the president on how he talks about the Russian investigation. So I think at least, again, real people, what really matter, not just, the corporate media and inside the beltway, prognosticators. Real people, I think this isn't passing the smell test, and I think today will just only add a whole lot of gasoline to that.
Yeah. Well, and there's really two, it seems like somewhat separate issues. There's Mike Flynn lying about his contact with Russians, and the president trying to tamp down, hey, don't put my friend in jail, which might, is that obstruction of justice or not? But that's Mike Flynn. But then there, the hearing opened today with I think it was Burr asking Comey, are the Russians actually trying to mess with our elections? And Comey saying absolutely, and this has been going on for some time, which is not, I'm guessing this is something that many governments do with other governments, but that there's still no justification for this. And to the best of my knowledge, there is no investigation going on right now into that latter, is there? Isn't the Mueller investigation looking into Flynn, or are they also investigating what Russia might have been doing with the United States in our election?
I don't think I could tell you the full scope and exactly where it's going, which is, again, it all goes back to why we've been asking for a long time to have an independent commission take this on.
Right, which is what I'm calling for, too.
Exactly. It just makes sense, right? Then we can do the other things we have to do. But when you've got an attorney general who's had to recuse himself, the ranking Republican on the House Intelligence Committee having to recuse himself, and neither one can do it very well, by the way.
Right.
We just need to get this resolved. And again, I think the fact that the American people aren't trusting the president on this, and I think after today you're going to see those numbers only spike. We've got to do what's right for the country, and that means the Republicans and for Paul Ryan to go up there today and show that he doesn't have a spine when it comes to dealing with the president is disgraceful. And I think, we really got to get to the point that country is over party.
Yeah, I'm with you. People are starting to call in, so we will continue with this, if that's all right with you.
Absolutely.
Let's do this hour. Congressman Mark Pocan is with us, the co-chair, newly elected co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, the congressman representing the 2nd District of Wisconsin. Rep. Mark Pocan on Twitter, pocan.house.gov on the internet. We'll be right back.